Welcome to today's session in physics. In the previous video, we already discussed how to find the magnitude and direction of the resultant of two vectors. So this again shows that finding the magnitude of the resultant of two vectors, here we have taken vector P and vector Q just to make you familiar with other notations just like vector A and vector B. So you can use any notation instead of vector A and vector B. So here it is vector P and vector Q and the angle taken is theta. So the expression for the magnitude of the resultant, it becomes root of P square plus 2PQ cos theta plus Q square. So in any manner you can study that derivation, and that derivation is very important. And the expression for the direction of the resultant, it becomes tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta by P plus Q cos theta, where alpha is the angle made by the resultant with vector P, that is tan alpha. So that's how we can find the magnitude and direction of the resultant of two vectors. Now some special cases of these laws we will be discussing. First case is case 1, that is vectors are parallel. If the two vectors are parallel means, as you can see from the slide, P and Q are in the same direction and angle theta will be equal to 0. So doing with the magnitude, we have root of P square plus 2PQ cos 0 plus Q square. You know cos 0 is 1. So the expression for R becomes root of P square plus 2PQ plus Q square. You know root of P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is P plus Q whole square. So it is root of P plus Q whole square, or simply R is equal to P plus Q. So if the two vectors are parallel to each other, or if they are in the same direction, the magnitude of the resultant is just the sum of magnitudes of the two vectors, that is R is equal to P plus Q. And the direction in terms of alpha, we found alpha tan alpha is equal to Q sin 0 divided by P plus Q cos 0. So tan alpha becomes 0 by P plus Q, that is equal to 0, which implies that alpha is equal to 0. Alpha equal to 0 means the resultant is in the direction of vector P and vector Q. So in short, if the two vectors are in the same direction, their resultant also will be in that direction itself. And the magnitude of the two vectors, the magnitude of the resultant of two vectors will be just the sum of magnitudes of the two vectors. Now case 2. Case 2 is when the vectors are perpendicular to each other. That means when theta equal to 90 degree. So you can see from the picture, that is vector P you have in x direction and vector Q you have perpendicular to it, that is in y direction. So the resultant, to find the resultant, here it is shown with just the triangle law, but whatever be the law, the magnitude and direction is given by these two equations. Okay, even if the diagram shown is as per the triangle law, you can use these two equations which we have already discussed. So we have magnitude R is equal to root of P square plus 2PQ cos 90 plus Q square. You know cos 90 is 0. So that middle term is becoming 0. So we have root of P square plus Q square. So when the two vectors are perpendicular to each other, the resultant has the magnitude root of P square plus Q square. And what is the direction? Direction is given by alpha, and tan alpha is equal to Q divided by P. So tan alpha is Q divided by P, or alpha is tan inverse Q by P. So this notation is new for you. That means if you know tan value of an angle, what is the value of that angle? That's what we mean by tan inverse. For example, you know tan 45 is 1. I said tan 45 is 1. So what is a tan inverse of 1? Tan inverse of 1 is 45 degree. That's what. That means the angle value corresponding to a given trigonometric ratio. That's what we specify by inverse. So if you know tan alpha, how to write alpha? Alpha is tan inverse q by p. So with the help of logarithm table or a data sheet, we will find how to find we'll discuss how to find the inverse values. Okay, so this is how we find alpha. Now coming to the third case, that is when vectors are anti-parallel. The vectors are anti-parallel, you can see from the picture, they are opposite in direction. So what about the angle between them? The angle between them becomes 180 degree. The angle between them is 180 degree. Okay, this angle is 180 degree. Now applying that law of cosines, r is equal to root of p square plus 2pq cos 180 plus q square. Cos 180, as you know, it is minus 1. So we have root of p square minus 2pq plus q square. So you know that is the expansion of p minus q whole square. So r becomes root of p minus q whole square, or r is equal to p minus q. So if the two vectors are opposite in direction, or if the angle between the two vectors is 180 degree, the magnitude of their resultant is just the difference in the magnitudes of individual vectors. That means you have to do the subtraction. So r is equal to p minus q. So if they are in same direction, just add the magnitudes. If they are in opposite direction, subtract them. That's what. Now, direction is given by tan alpha. So we'll have, by substituting sine 180 and cos 180, we'll have this equation tan alpha equal to 0. But we know tan alpha is 0 means this alpha has two possibilities. That means 0 degree or 180 degree. So the thing is this, if p is greater than q, alpha will be equal to 0. And if p is less than q, alpha equal to 180. What does it mean? If in this situation, that means in the diagram, it's given like this. So here p, the magnitude of p is greater than that of q. How can you say? Because p is having more length of the vector. In graphical representation, it shows the magnitude of that vector. So if p is having more magnitude than q, the resultant will be in the direction of p. Okay, so if p is greater than q, magnitude of p is greater than the magnitude of q, so it is in the direction of p. That means the resultant, it is in that direction. So alpha is equal to 0. Now if the reverse is there, that means p is small in length. That means like this. This is p and q is like this. So q is having more magnitude. That means p is less than q. So in that case, the resultant will be in the direction of q. That means the resultant of the two vectors will be in this direction, towards left. Okay, in that case, the resultant has the direction, that means alpha is equal to 180 degree. So there are two possibilities when tan alpha equal to 0, that alpha can be 0 or 180. So if p is greater than q, alpha is 0, and if p is less than q, alpha is 180 degree. Now, unit vectors, we have already discussed about unit vectors in one of the videos. You know, unit vector is a vector whose magnitude is 1 and it is in the direction of a given vector. That means the purpose of unit vector is to show direction. So it does not have dimension and unit, and its use is to specify the direction. So if you have, as in this slide, if you have vector A A cap shows the unit vector in the direction of vector A. So caret symbol, that means above that particular letter you have to write a caret symbol or cap. That caret symbol shows that it is a unit vector. So what is the relation between a vector and its own unit vector? A given vector can be expressed as the product of its magnitude and unit vector. This also we already discussed. For example, vector A. You know vector A, its magnitude is simply A. Magnitude is simply A, that is A. So vector A can be written as magnitude into unit vector, that is vector A equal to A into A cap, where A cap is the unit vector along vector A. So unit vector is used to show the direction of a quantity. Now, you know the standard rectangular directions we have, x, y and z directions. So they are the standard reference directions, x, y and z directions. So along these three directions, the unit vectors are already defined. And those unit vectors are called Cartesian unit vectors, or they are also called as orthogonal unit vectors. So orthogonal, the word orthogonal means mutually perpendicular. You know that all the three x, y and z directions, they are perpendicular to each other. If you consider the angle between x and y axis, the angle is 90 degree. The angle between y and z axis is 90 degree, and angle between x and z axis, that also is 90 degree, and that is a three-dimensional concept. Okay, so the unit vectors along that x, y and z directions, they are taken to be I, j and k. So as you can see, I cap is the unit vector in the direction of x. So this is I cap, that is I cap is the unit vector in the direction of x. J cap is the unit vector in the direction of y, and k cap, it is the unit vector in the direction of z. So all these I, j, k, they are unit vectors in x, y and z directions respectively. So their magnitude will be 1 each, and the directions x, y and z direction. So naturally the unit vector along negative x direction will be taken as negative I, and that along negative y direction will be taken as negative j cap, and that along negative z direction will be taken as negative k cap. Okay, so that negative sign we have to use whenever the direction is reversed. So orthogonal unit vectors, they are I, j and k, I cap, j cap and k cap. While doing problems using these equations to find the direction and magnitude of the resultant, conveniently we take some standard reference directions. As it is given in this diagram, you can see the north direction is taken to be positive y direction. So while drawing diagrams and all, this is the convention we follow. Towards north, if it is given, we will draw it in upward direction, and towards south, if it is given, we will draw it in downward direction, and towards east we will draw in positive x direction, and towards west we will draw in negative x direction. So that's how we will follow the directions. Now we will do some problems based on these equations. 1. Two people are pushing a disabled car. One exerts a force of 200 Newton east and the other force of 150 Newton east. What is the net force exerted on the car? Assume the friction to be negligible. So it is a very easy question. So here both the forces are in the same direction. 150 Newton and 200 Newton in the same direction. So as we discussed earlier, it's enough to just add the two magnitudes to find the resultant magnitude. So we'll get 350 Newton as the resultant force. And what is the direction of the resultant force? It will be towards east directions. So this is an easy question. Now coming to the next one, two saucer players kick a ball simultaneously from opposite sides. Red number 3 kicks with 50 Newton of force, while blue number 5 kicks with 63 Newton of force. What is the net force on the ball? So they are in the opposite direction. The diagram will be as shown. Red is applying a force in this direction, so that we will take as positive direction, and the blue one kicks the ball in the opposite direction, so that is negative. So when forces come like this, we have to find the resultant by subtracting. That means we took 50 Newton in the positive direction, 63 Newton in the negative direction. So the resultant magnitude will be 50 minus 63, that is minus 13 Newton. Okay. Now how to state the direction? In which direction the resultant is acting? You know, negative 13 means negative direction. This is the direction. This is the direction of that negative 13. So negative 13 is in the direction, that is away from red, or not away from red, towards red, or away from blue. That's how you can state the direction, because that is the direction. It is towards red. This is the direction also, towards red or away from blue. That is the direction of that resultant force. So how to state the direction? That is given. That is 13 Newton towards red, or it is 13 Newton away from blue. Okay, now third problem. An aeroplane heads due north at 100 meter per second through a 30 meter per second cross wind blowing from east to the west. Determine the resultant velocity of the aeroplane relative to due north. That means you have to find the resultant velocity of the aeroplane. So we'll draw a diagram as shown. So it's given in what direction towards north the aeroplane is going, and the wind is blowing from east to west. So drawing diagram, we'll have towards north, upward direction. As we stated in previous case, we said no, upward direction will take us north direction. So that is 100 meter per second. Okay. So this diagram is given. I am drawing in simple lines. You can draw like this. Then the wind is blowing from east to west. You know, this is the direction which we follow. North, south, east, west. So from east to west the wind is blowing. So wind blows in this direction, east to west. And with what velocity? 30 meter per second. 30 meter per second is the velocity. So this is the diagram which we have. Now you are asked to find the resultant. So what is the angle between the two? The angle between the two is 90 degree. So what comes as the expression for resultant velocity of the aeroplane? Root of p square plus q square. We already discussed. So that means root of 100 square plus 30 square. You will get it as 104 meter per second square. Okay, the root of 100 square plus 30 square, you will get it as 104 meter per second. Now, how to find the direction? In finding direction, we define an angle theta. Suppose we define this angle as theta. Okay, so you can draw another diagram if you want like this. So this angle is 90 degree. So this is 30, this is 100, and this angle we call as theta. So from this right triangle, what is tan theta? Tan theta equal to 30 by 100, or tan theta equal to what? 3 by 10. Tan theta equal to 3 by 10, or it is the same as 0.3. Now you have to find what? Tan inverse 0.3. tan theta equal to 0.3. So you have to find tan inverse 0.3. That we will be discussing how to find the inverse value. So you will be getting theta to be 17 degree, and the 17 degree from where? That means this is the direction. You know, this direction, this is north, and towards this direction, from north towards which direction? Towards west. So we can say 17 degree on the west of north. From north 17 degree towards west. In that direction the aeroplane is moving. That means its velocity, resultant velocity is now. Okay, because of the presence of the wind. Actually it was moving towards north. Because of the wind, now this is the direction. So what is that direction? How will you state that direction? From north, it is making that its aeroplane's direction is making an angle 17 degree with the direction of north towards west. Okay, that is how you have to state the direction. So only this much for today. Thank you.